Hello lovely, thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't met me before, then hello, lovely to meet you. My name is Laura and in today's video I am back on YouTube. I'm back in my bedroom. We are all systems go here in this beautiful sanctuary that is my fully renovated bedroom. It has taken so much longer than I expected, and there are still a little few bits left to do. There's some wall hangings that I still need to put up and some things that I need to find homes for, but I just can't put off filming any longer. I'm making excuses for myself and that stops today. So I mentioned on my community tab that I invested in some new filming equipment. I got a new microphone, some lights and a tripod that I can leave up all the time, so it's, you know, when I come and sit at my vanity, it's easy for me to just switch the camera on and start filming. And I'm really hoping everything works okay, that the lighting looks good, that the framing is all good, and that the investment, it wasn't a huge investment, but I hope the investment was worth it. So in today's video, it's okay baby, Ray is behind me and he's dreaming and it's so cute. But in today's video we are going to be doing a full face, this look that you see here, a full face of my current favourite products. I put a poll up on my Instagram and asked if people wanted to see a full face of my current faves or a chit chat get ready with me just using what's in my shop, my stash at the moment, and the resounding winner was a full face of my current favourite products. So that's what I'm doing today. This is the look that I have come out with. I love it, especially my skin. What I did to prepare for this was I filled up this vintage Laura Ashley case that I got from Vinted. It's like a travel makeup case, and I went through my collection and I pulled all of the products that have just been standouts for me over the last 6 or so months that I have been doing my no-buy, and before the no-buy started, when I was using a limited collection of products when I had to move out of the house. So when we were at the caravan, like when we were in the cottages and living out of a suitcase, I didn't do any shopping after Boxing Day until beginning of mid-June, beginning of July. I finished my no-buy, and it gave me the opportunity to rediscover my makeup collection while I wasn't constantly bringing new products in. It really gave me the opportunity to get to grips with what I already owned, to rediscover products that I had forgotten about, and to find some hidden gems within my collection. There are a couple of newer products within this bundle of favourites that were perhaps gifts or I got before the no-buy started, and they are just, everything is just so good, and I've got a good healthy mix of like affordable, high-end, couple of luxury items in there. And yeah, so first video, this is the first video that I'm going to be filming in this bedroom for, I think it's 9 months, and then it's been about a month since I filmed at the caravan. Month to 6 weeks, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, so 9 months that I haven't filmed within this bedroom, and I am just loving it. I love the setup, I love sitting, this is the first makeup look that I've done sitting at my vanity in all that time, and it feels oh, it feels so good to be here and sitting at my vanity and not doing my makeup out of a bag on my bed or something. So yeah, so full face of favourites, let's go. Okay, so one of the things that I have been loving over the last few months, well, it's actually been over the last month that I've introduced this. I've started switching up ever so slightly the way that I do my makeup, like the order that I do things in. I always used to be a full face first, and then I'd do my brows, and then I'd do my eyes. But I was really hating how my eyebrows were looking. I was finding that they weren't sort of like, the pigment wasn't very good on the shape I didn't like. You know, I thought, you know, I need to go and start having them done professionally again. But I thought I would just try the like eyebrows first thing and see if it made a difference. And I can honestly say that I haven't loved my makeup as much as I have lately, and I've been doing my brows first. So what I'm going to do is just quickly show you what I'm going to be using on my brows. I've been using exactly the same thing every time I do my brows. I do have quite a few brow products that I am waiting to dive into and to use, but with brows I don't like having like multiple things on at a time. Like I'm the same with mascaras. I want to use one up, get it out of my collection, and then open another one. So these haven't really changed. So the brow pencil I've been using is the e.l.f. Instant Lift brow pencil in neutral brown. This I am coming to the end of, and I just want to get this one used up and out of my collection. It works great. It's a thicker pencil, so if you want fine hair-like strokes, you're not really going to get it from this. And then because I have fully embraced the red and gone like proper like auburney reddy brown, I do like adding a bit of warmth to my brows. So I got the NYX brow pencil. This is the Precision brow pencil. I don't think they actually sell these ones anymore, but this is the shade Auburn. I found mine, I think I found mine on Notino. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the one with the like the colour on the end, and it's sort of like a squared off top, although I've sort of used mine into a point. But this I only use a small amount just over the top of the e.l.f. just to add that warmth back into my brows. And then I love the NYX brow glue, the original clear brow glue. I have tinted and laminated my brows recently, so I'm probably not going to need to do a huge amount to them. And then at the very end of my makeup, when everything is all finished, if I've got any powder or like foundation in my brows by accident, then I will use the Avon Brow Boost. This is in the shade light brown. I didn't purchase this, my mum actually purchased it for herself, didn't get on with it, so she handed it on to me. I really like this one. It's just a traditional clear, like traditional coloured brow mascara. I don't think there's any fibres or anything in it. It is just like a tint, but the light brown does add sort of like a different texture to my brows. So I'll just run some of that through at the end. So I'm going to go off and do my brows, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the rest of the products. Okay, so that's the brows done. They do look a bit harsh and a bit wild at the moment, but when the rest of my makeup is on, everything sort of blends in together. I have just added a little bit of my concealer just to underneath the brows, not really to carve them out or anything, but just so they blend in a bit more when the rest of my foundation is on. And the concealer that I have been loving over the last 6 or so months is the NYX Cosmetics Bear With Me Concealer Serum. Took me a long time to sort of buy into the hype of this one. I'd had it in my collection for a long time, used it once and was like, I don't see what the fuss is about. But then I started using it consistently, and I do really get why people love this so much. It's a beautiful concealer. Two other products from NYX that I absolutely love and can't seem to do my makeup without incorporating one of these is the NYX Pro Fix sticks. They do corrector shades and concealer shades. I've got two of the corrector shades here. I do also have some of the concealers, but the correctors are my favourites. I love using these before I put on my foundation to do any colour correcting that I might need. If my rosacea is flaring up or I have any excessive redness, then I love using the green. This is so pigmented but so creamy and blends in absolutely beautifully. And then the pink I like using to brighten up under my eyes. So what I like to do first is prime, then I will do my colour correction, concealer under my eyes, then I'll go in with my foundation. And the primer that I have been just loving and finding very difficult to use anything else is the Say Glowy Super Gel. This is in the shade Star Glow. This is the original one. They have since brought out some other shades. When I finish this one, I would quite like to pick up a mini of the Rose Gold, because I think that would just like leave a nice little hint of sort of a rosy glow underneath my foundation. But I still have quite a bit of this. You can't really tell how much is left because it's one of those where it's a glass bottle, but it's like a bag inside that gets smaller and smaller as you pump it out, so you can't really tell how much is in here. But this product is absolutely stunning. It is a gel consistency, as you can see. It's quite thick, but it just blends so nicely into the skin. It's not greasy or oily. It's not super metallic like some other glow boosters. It leaves like a skincare glow rather than a makeup glow. And for sort of an everyday basis, this is just beautiful. Does have a scent to it. It's like a rose herbal scent, and I really don't mind it at all. I quite like it. Rose is my favourite scent. It's like a rose, not a synthetic rose smell, like a proper floral, fresh cut rose scent. And as you can see, it just leaves that juicy, glassy glow to my skin. Okay, so that is the Pro Fix sticks on my skin. As you can see how pigmented that green is, and I'm just going to blend it in with a concealer brush. And I don't necessarily need the green colour corrector today, because I'm going to be using quite a full coverage foundation, and I do find that the foundation is enough to cover any redness on my skin. But I just wanted to show you this as it is a favourite, and I don't blend it in fully so that it completely disappears into my skin, because as I say, I'm going to be putting a full coverage product over the top, so it's all going to sort of blend together anyway. And then I'm just going to wipe that off on a towel and go in to the colour corrector under my eyes. And I've just put this where I have a bit of darkness and want a little bit of a lift. There we go. And then I'm going to go in with my concealer under my eyes before I do my foundation. This is another thing that I've been doing so that I don't add too much product underneath my eyes, because I do find that out of habit I will sort of take my foundation up under my eyes, and then obviously I put concealer on, or you know, colour corrector, and then you've got sort of like 3 layers of stuff under there. So doing my concealer first has just helped me target what I need to and keep less product from going underneath where I have fine lines and wrinkles. Okay, and another recent discovery that became such a favourite that I would happily replace every single setting spray I own and just use this one. This is the Studio London. This is Superdrug's own brand, so very affordable, and this is the Soft Serve You Do You setting mist, and this was a limited edition scent that they brought out. I hadn't tried this setting mist before. I just saw that it was a limited edition like vanilla ice cream scent, and I was like, yes, I want to try that. My mum very kindly picked one up for me while I was on my no buy, and then I picked up another 3 so that I would never be without it. I love it that much. And all I do with this, it is a very lightweight sort of radiant setting mist. There's no shimmer in it, but it's a beautiful mist. It smells heavenly, and I just think it makes my makeup look so beautiful. And what I've been doing with this is adding it like a sandwich sort of method in between each stage of my makeup. So before I go in with my foundation, I'm going to spritz some of this on. And it's just such a delightful scent. They also do a peach one, and they do a mattifying version, but I think I've got enough of this to last me a lifetime. And for foundation, another recent favourite that I discovered before Christmas, I was really wanting to pick up the Estee Lauder Double Wear. It used to be my holy grail foundation when I was younger. I used to absolutely love that foundation for like long days, nights out, that sort of thing. But it is a matte foundation, and my skin is dry, and I'm also got aging mature skin. So I was like, I want to try it again, but I'm also, if it's a fail, it's an expensive foundation. And I remembered that the Revlon Colour Stay was a dupe for it. Now, when I used to use Revlon Colour Stay, they only did one, and it was a matte finish, and it was perfect for oily skin, which I used to have in my youth. They have since changed the formulas so that there's an oily combination skin and a normal dry skin version. And I thought, I'll pick that up. I got it off Amazon. It was only like £7, and I love it. It is absolutely beautiful. It does actually say that this is a natural finish rather than a matte finish, but it lasts so long on the skin. It's full coverage, but it has that natural rather than a matte finish. It's stunning. So this is a great foundation when I need my foundation to last, or I want more full coverage, say I'm going out or something like that, which doesn't really happen. But in this hot sticky weather that we've been having, this has been amazing, because I can sweat, I can be out in the sun, and it just doesn't budge. And another thing that has been a recent discovery favourite is actually, I'm just using brushes. I used to be a sponge girly through and through, but I have just been loving the effect of using a brush to blend all of my makeup in. I haven't even got a sponge by me. I've just been much preferring the effect, the finish, everything of using a brush. So as you can see, it's excellent coverage, but you can still see the radiance in my skin. Okay, so that is that foundation all blended into my skin, and I've just sprayed another layer of the Superdrug setting mist. Now for cream bronzer, this is another one that I have had. Most of these, well pretty much all of these products are things that I have had in my collection for a long time, but they were sort of like recent discoveries as I was sort of not buying new makeup and forced to use the makeup that was in my collection, you know, reach for products that I hadn't been and had sort of forgotten about. I realised what beautiful makeup I have in my collection, and that this constant sort of need and desire for something new is not a desire for better makeup, because I have better makeup. It's the dopamine rush, and that was something that was really great for me whilst I was doing the no buy for 6 months. Well, it was just over 6 months. I discovered so many beautiful products within my collection, and I got a real appreciation for my collection. I love having this big collection. I love that I can use something different every single time I do my makeup, and I love that if something doesn't work for me, I don't have to buy something different to replace it. I can just go and find something else from my collection. So one of the items that I sort of rediscovered and could not put down is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand and the Patrick Ta Bronzer Duo. Now, the Contour Wand is the perfect contour shade for me, whereas the cream bronzer in this particular duo that I have, she's Statuesque, which is the lightest one. This is a bit too light for me, but combined they work absolutely beautiful. If I want just a hint of colour, the Patrick Ta is enough, but with a full coverage foundation I do find that the addition of the Hollywood Contour Wand just gives me that sort of like sculpt and colour that I want. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this. I'm also going to get my nose as well. And I'm going to blend that out using this sort of a brush. This is just an Amazon brush. Okay, so that's the contour blended out, and now I'm just going to use a little bit of the Patrick Ta cream bronzer, same brush, and I'm almost hitting pan on this bronzer. You can see that I've got the definition from the contour wand here, and then the colour, the hint of colour from the Patrick Ta. If I was to pick up another one of these Patrick Ta duos, it would be in a deeper shade. The bronzer's perfect, the powder bronzer's perfect, it's just the cream doesn't really give me as much as I would like, especially with my dark hair. I really can take a lot of bronzer. I need a lot of bronzer to give me some colour because I'm so fair, but the two together are absolutely beautiful. And then a cream blush favourite has been the MAC Glow Play blushes. Now this shade Cheeky Devil, I'm not sure if it's still available. This is the original formula of the Glow Play blushes. They have since reformulated and extended the shade range, but this is the original formula. This is a stunning blush formula. It's like a putty, so it's squidgy. It's like a cream to powder. It's like a really velvety soft finish, but it has a slight radiance to it, and I love a bit of glow in my blush. So I'm going to add some of this to my cheeks using the Zoeva 128 cream cheek brush. And I love this shade, Cheeky Devil, because I like to layer my blushes. I like to wear a cream and then a powder on top. And this is such a light shade that it doesn't affect the colour that I put on top too much. But you can see it just livens up my face a little bit, adds a hint of glow. It's just stunning. And I quite like that you can be quite heavy-handed with this blush formula if you want to. This original formula anyway, I can't comment on the new formula. Put a little on my nose. I have purchased a couple of the new shades, but I haven't got round to using them yet, so I don't know sort of the difference between this old formula and the new formula. I got the shades Pinch of Marrakesh and Ginger Look, which were the new sort of what part of the shade extension, and they were sort of like released when I started my no-buy, and I was like, I want them so bad, but I held off, and I did buy them sort of like quite recently. So the no-buy was a resounding success. I'm really proud of myself. I did really well, and even though I am buying makeup again, it's totally changed the way that I am buying the things that I am buying. If you would like to hear more about my experience with the no-buy and sort of how things have changed, then leave me a comment. I would happily do a video on my experience and why I decided to finish it early and that sort of thing. But I also have, as I've said, I've bought some new makeup, but I'm sort of reluctant to do a haul because for me, watching hauls were a massive buying trigger, and I don't really watch them anymore. If I do, I tend to watch them about stuff that I'm not interested in picking up. Like I'll watch Sephora hauls because I don't shop at Sephora. We have got Sephora in the UK, but I haven't purchased from there since we had it. I don't feel sort of triggered by that. So if you would like to see the new makeup that I've purchased and me talk a bit about why I've purchased it and how my purchasing habits have changed, then please do leave me a comment and I would happily film that. But as I say, I have been reluctant, for if anybody watching is triggered by hauls, I don't want to add to that. Going in with another layer of the Superdrug Setting Mist. It just feels so gorgeous, so refreshing. Okay, so for powder products, there have been two standout powder products and a standout brand that I want to sort of talk about a little bit. I saw so many videos, ads for the Wonder Skin lip stains. I felt like I could not get away from these lip stains, and I purchased some last year. Thought they're okay, and then my mum got into them and she ended up purchasing 5 of them for herself. And then while she was on there, she was like, do you want anything while I'm doing this purchase? And I was like, oh, there is a couple of things I would like to try. One of the things that did help me with my no-buy, and I have to call it out and I can't lie about it, is that I am so very blessed with my parents, especially my mother. She is a shopper like me, she will say that I got the way that I am because of her. She loves makeup as much as I do, perhaps not as much anymore, but she was massive into makeup, the same as me. She has expensive taste when it comes to makeup. She loves her Dior, Chanel, YSL, that sort of thing, and I definitely get some of that from her. And she would pick me up things if say we were out in Superdrug and I saw something and I mentioned it to her, oh, I've seen something about these are supposed to be good. She'd be like, well, do you want me to get it for you? And I most of the time would say no, because I was trying to stick to my guns and be like, no, I don't need anything. But she did get me the odd thing, and a couple of the things that she got me from Wonder Skin were their new press powder, which is the For You Page filter powder, FYP filter powder. They only do the one shade. It is just a white translucent shade. And she also got me a mascara, and one of the free gifts that she got was an eyeliner. I'd asked her to get me a couple of the new shades of the eyeliner, and she got an eyeliner as a free gift, and she gave the free gift to me. And these eyeliners and this powder, let me tell you, the eyeliners have replaced my Victoria Beckham for being the best eyeliner formula I have ever used. They are pretty identical to the Victoria Beckham liners, but they're like half the price. And this powder, it's the perfect touch-up powder. For one, it's perfect to just throw in your bag, but it's also the most beautiful powder for underneath the eyes. And I'm going to just show you the effect of this powder. So I'm only going to use this under my eyes and in certain places, because I've got another powder that I want to talk about. So I'm just going to check I've got no creasing. I haven't. And I'm just going to pick some up on this Made by Mitchell brush and just pop that under my eyes. This works equally well with a puff or a brush, but I have been preferring a brush, especially for under my eyes lately. I find if I use a powder puff, because of the fine lines, wrinkles, that sort of thing, it can look a little bit heavy under my eyes if I use a puff. If I take this powder with me and I touch up, I will use a powder puff for touch-ups, but for under the eyes and the initial lay down, the initial set, I like to use a brush. And then on the rest of my face, another standout that I discovered last year was Laura Geller. The Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten foundation is iconic. I'd never tried it, and they became available in the UK, so I picked up a couple of products to try. I was so super impressed. Got my mum into it, and my mum bought me a bunch of Laura Geller makeup for Christmas. In fact, she accidentally bought me two of the same eyeshadow palette, which I think was accidentally on purpose because she got to keep that on herself. And she bought me another one of the Baked Balance and Brighten foundations that I'd already got, which I've kept as a backup because I will use it. This one I'm going to use today is the Baked Balance and Glow. This is same sort of premise. It's a powder foundation. It's a mineral powder foundation, but it's baked in a pan, and this one has a glow to it, a luminosity to it. I have two shades in this powder. I have the shade Porcelain, which is, you can see the radiance of it there. I have the Porcelain, which is the lightest shade. It's like a lovely creamy beige with a pink shot running through it. This is slightly warmer and has more of a peachy shot running through it, which I can wear both shades, but especially as I've got a little bit, I say I've got a little bit of colour. I'm basically still the colour of a piece of A4 paper, but I have got a bit more colour. I think a lot of it is to do with my hair, like the warmth in my hair. But I am going to be using this one today, and I'm going to be using this large brush. One of the Christmas presents my mum got me actually was some Laura Geller brushes. She got me a set of Laura Geller brushes. This is one of the brushes that was in the set, so actually I will use that one as it's made for these products. And I like this particular one. You do get a lot of kick up with them. They are a pigmented product, but what I like about these is I have used them as a standalone like coverage product, but the coverage is very light. It can be built up, but you're not going to get like a full coverage from it. But I love using these as like a setting and a finishing powder. They just add a lovely glow, a little bit of extra coverage, and I just think they look really, really beautiful on the skin. There we go. And then for powder bronzer, I'm going to use two. I'm going to use the Patrick Tar bronzer to add some colour and structure to my face, and then I'm also going to go over it with the Kosas powder bronzer. Now this is the original formula. They have since reformulated and brought out new shades, and I think the new ones are a lot more pigmented. This was the lightest shade, and it is so light. It barely shows. Actually, I've got hard pan. It's completely hard panned. But the pigment is incredibly light on this, which is why I think they reformulated it. That and the hard pan issue. I know the powders were notorious as well for hard panning. I just took a spoolie and sort of scraped off that hard pan, because you better believe I'm getting my money's worth out of these products. We aren't throwing products away and giving up on them. So I'm going to go in with the Patrick Tar first of all. I do absolutely love the effect of the Kosas powder, which is why it's here as a favourite, even though I have had that hard pan and not much pigment issue. The effect of it is just stunning. You can see it's not adding a lot of colour, but what it is doing is adding that beautiful golden radiance, which I just love a shimmery bronzer, especially in the summer. There we go, and you know what's coming? Another spritz. And we are losing the light, so I might have to add another light soon, but I think we're all right for the time being. So for my eyes, I have two eyeshadow products that have been, not specifically these two, but the brands and formulas have been, I've just been obsessed with, and that is my Dior Quince. I have just fallen back in love with my Dior Quince, and my mum gave me a couple of hers that she wasn't using. Now mine are not the new formula. you can tell I've been on a no-buy for 6 months because so many brands have changed the formulas of my favourite products, and I'm still squirreling away at the old formulas. One thing I'm not going to do is, just because a brand reformulates or discontinues a product, I'm not going to stop using it because you lovely people can't get it anymore. I am a makeup lover and consumer. I use makeup for me, not for anybody else. So just because you may not be able to get something anymore, please forgive me in that I'm still going to use it on my channel and love it, because you might have it as well. I can't get my head around the YouTubers that throw thousands sometimes worth of product away because it's been discontinued and the viewers can't get it anymore. I just don't understand it. You might as well set fire to your money. So I'm going to use this. This is the old formula. The new ones, you can tell because the Dior is all in capital letters and they've took away the push button function. It's now just a clip. It's not like got the button, and the reformulation is doesn't include talc. It includes an alternative to talc, but as I say, mine is the old formula. I haven't used this usage is from my mum, but I haven't, this isn't a favourite, this particular one, because I've not used it before, but the Dior Quince have been a favourite. I have been loving a smaller palette. I think a lot of that has got to do with my age. I feel a bit overwhelmed by the amount of choice in larger palettes, even though I still use them and love them. I have really been loving my little Dior Quince. And then another thing that I discovered last year was NARS eyeshadows. I had never used a NARS eyeshadow, and I got a palette on Vinted, and it set off an obsession. The NARS eyeshadow formula is hands down one of the nicest eyeshadow formulas I have ever used. Now, Natasha Denona is still and probably always will be my top tier favourite eyeshadow formula, but the NARS eyeshadow formulas, especially for the same with the Dior Quince, the formula, again, I can't comment on the new formula. I've heard very mixed reviews. Some people have said that they are nowhere near as nice as they used to be, which makes me glad that, you know, I've still got these. But they work beautifully on more mature lids. They are stunning. They're just so soft, so easy to blend. The pigment, especially on the Dior, isn't going to be your Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona pigment. It's a much softer, buildable formula, which, as I'm getting older, I appreciate more, because, you know, my eyelid skin is getting delicate and I don't want to be spending an hour blending eyeshadow. These blend themselves, and the shimmers, oh, I'm 40 and I will still be putting shimmer on my eyes when I'm 70, if I'm still here, touch wood. You know, I love a shimmer. You know, it's fun, it's sparkly, I'm like a magpie, and these, as you can see, are just insane. The only thing is, NARS's eyeshadow palettes, all of them are limited edition, so except I think some of their quads, which I don't own, all of my NARS eyeshadow palettes I've picked up from Vinted. This is one that I haven't used yet. This is the Ignited eyeshadow palette, and I pulled this one because I thought this was a beautiful, like, summer colour story, but I really want to use the Dior Quint, especially because my mum gave it to me and I haven't used it yet. This is shade 159 Plum Tulle, and I am fancying a sort of like a purpley cool toned look. So to prep my eyelids, another favourite is the Rimmel Wonderlast eyeshadow sticks. I got these last year when we had to move out and we had to stay in a cottage. In the cottage, I had forgot like a cream eyeshadow to use as to prep my eyelids. I always use a cream eyeshadow or eyeshadow stick, and I picked up some of these when we were in Superdrug, and they're brilliant. They've got some really nice shades. They're super creamy, they go on so nicely, they don't crease, and powder eyeshadow goes over the top really lovely. And I knew there was something I'd forgotten. When I was talking about Wonder Skin, I meant to mention I mentioned briefly the lip stains were what got me into them. And the 5 that my mum purchased, she's given them all to me. Well, she gave me 4 because I'd already got one of the shades. She can't, her hand-eye coordination is really bad, and she can't use these without making a mess, so she gave me all of her lip stains, and this is the shade Darling. I haven't used this particular one yet. It's like a purpley burgundy, I think. And what I've been loving doing, one of my favourite new things to do, is put a lip stain on before I do my lip combo, and I find the longevity is just amazing. So I'm going to put this on. And the more you build these up, the deeper and more intense the stain is. I'm not going to build it up too much, because I'm going to be going in with a lip combo on top. Okay, and that eye look took me like 5 minutes. Now for the Wonder Skin eyeliner, I'm going to be using the shade Black Truffle, which is like a shimmery black, and these are so incredibly creamy. And I'm just going to line my upper waterline, line along my lash line, and then smudge out into like a little wing. Okay, and just to show you, these eyeliners do not budge once they're on. So I am going to just pop off camera now and do my mascara and remove the lip stain. So I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise eyelash primer. This is one of my favourite lash primers. I absolutely love it, and I'm going to be using the Maybelline Firework mascara. I like this mascara, but it is very messy. It's a very wet formula. Okay, so that's my eyes done. Something nice and soft and simple, and the lip stain has been removed. One thing I did forget to mention when I was doing my eyes is another absolute winning favourite. Again, I got these last year when they very first came out. These are the e.l.f. Fine as Fleck glitter eyeshadows, and I pulled out the shade Pop Off Pink. I have all 6, I think, of these. I wish they would bring out more shades. These are absolutely stunning to just add on top of an eye look for a little pop of scattered sparkle. It's like a scattered light effect. They're supposed to be a dupe of the Urban Decay Moon Dust shadows, but I just absolutely love these. And again, that was the shade Pop Off Pink. You probably can't even see it until I like move my head like that. You can just see that little subtle shimmer. Beautiful. And then for highlighter, an absolute another winning discovery was the L'Oreal Lumi Le Glace sticks. Now they have L'Oreal Lumi Le Glace and they have Lumi Le Glow in these sticks. There's 2 of each shape, each formula, I think. The Le Glace is my favourite because it gives you just a wet sheen with no actual pigment. The Le Glow is more of a traditional cream highlighter. It does leave like a little bit of a colour behind. And another one that had been in my collection for a very long time, and I've recently fallen in love with it and become just completely enamoured by it, is the Chanel LeBlanc Rosy Light Drops. And these are obviously completely different end of the spectrum price wise, but these again, like the Say Glowy Super Gel, these give like a skincare glow. And what's really unique about these drops is that they dry down really quickly and they leave just a lovely like glow to the skin. They have a rose scent to them. I'll put one on one cheek and one on the other so you can see the difference. And I just like to apply these with my finger. They don't lift anything underneath. They dry pretty much as soon as they meet your skin, but they just blend in seamlessly and look so beautiful. So that's the Chanel. And then on this side I'll use the L'Oreal. And you can just see it just looks like wet shine. But again, using your fingers, these don't disturb any makeup. They don't feel, there is a tack to them, but they don't feel like you've put like lip gloss on your face. They're just stunning. And what's left of, oh, I've just gone a little bit dizzy. where what is left of the Chanel, I'll just highlight like my nose and stuff. Okay, and then for a powder blush favourite that totally blew my socks off and really surprised me are the Max Factor blushes. These are the Max Factor Face Affinity blushes. These are just these tiny little unassuming looking baked blushes. They remind, I've never used an Hourglass blush, but these remind me in look to those blushes. Unfortunately, there's only 4 shades. I started off with 2 and I ended up buying all 4. I've got all 4 of them here. They are that good. They are just stunning blushes. They aren't glittery or chunky. They just leave a beautiful creamy sort of hue to the cheeks. They're stunning. So I've got the shades Seductive Pink. Let me swatch these. So this is the shade Seductive Pink. This is one that I have been wearing a ton of. I've actually started to flatten down the dough. They're just so soft. So that's Seductive Pink, which I'm not sure if I'm going to put that one on today, or my other favourite, which is Nude Mauve. This one just looks totally unassuming. Again, I've started to wear down the dome. That's Nude Mauve. I think I might go with that one today. And then I've got 2 that I haven't worn yet. These were the ones I bought sort of like last. This is Alluring Rose. Oh, I have used this one. This one has a little bit more of a thicker shimmer particle in it. It's not glittery, but you can see it has more noticeable shimmer in it, and that one is Alluring Rose. And then probably my favourite, and the one I keep saving, is the shade Lovely Pink. This one is so pretty. And it's the softest, most subtle of the 4, but it's just so pretty. And they literally feel like a cream when the powder is so soft. So I think I'm going to go for, let's go for the one that I keep putting off using. We'll go for Lovely Pink. Treat yourself, Laura, today. And I'm just going to use this small brush. I only got these because my mum was after a specific shade of lipstick, and I had gone over every like stand in Superdrug looking for this sort of shade of lipstick she was describing, and I found one on Max Factor that seemed sort of like it was the sort of thing that she was looking for. And I saw those blushes and they reminded me immediately of the Hourglass, and I picked up a couple. She picked up the lipstick. It didn't end up being the one that she was hoping for, but she has got it and she does like it. But yeah, just stunning. Speechless how beautiful those blushes are. And then for a lip combo, my absolute hero products lately that I will shout from the rooftops and tell everybody to use. There is no need to be spending a fortune on lip liners when NYX absolutely smashes it out of the park with their lip liner formulas. They're just impeccable. And my favourite thing to do lately is take one of the suede matte lip liners to line my whole lip, because these are nice and creamy, they set down, they don't budge, they're really long wearing. And then one of the slim lip pencils, which are the super cheap ones, these are a more stiffer formula, but I like using one of these to just define the top and bottom of my lip. And then the lipstick that I have been unable to put down is Lisa Eldridge in the shade Velvet Muse. It's a mess because I've been using it. It's stunning, and this is one of her True Velvet formulas, and I like to apply this super softly with my finger to just give like a blurred look, because that velvet finish is like perfect for that kind of look. So I'm going to go in with the suede matte lip liner first. This particular shade I'm using is the shade Cans, or Can. It's like a deep coral pink, that shade is. And then Peekaboo Neutral, I'm just going to go and line top and bottom for definition. It doesn't do a huge amount, but whatever it does I like. And then I'm just going to take the lipstick. Oh, and let me swatch this shade Velvet Muse. It's like a perfect deep, like nude pink, like a rosewood shade, and it just suits this hair colour so nicely. And I just think it makes my lips look really nice and full, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful shade. And then finally, I don't think I need to put the tinted brow gel through my brows, but I'm going to do one final setting spray. And for my very final set, I like to use the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microphone Setting Mist. This is a long wear setting spray. So rather than the Superdrug, which is nice and refreshing and hydrating, this one is going to make sure that it locks everything down and makes everything last. So I'm going to do one final set with this. And that's me done. Okay, and that is my finished look. Thank you so much for being so patient with me and for being here with me today. I really do appreciate it. I'm really happy with how my makeup look came together. I mean, it's a full face of my current favourite products, but I just love it. I think for a full coverage foundation, the Revlon Colour Stay just looks so good on my skin, and I'm really happy with everything. So thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here and see you again in the future. Now that I've got my setup sorted, I'm going to be back and filming more often, hopefully. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, lovely.